Let's call to order this meeting. We'll start off with the roll call. Jordan, would you start us, please?
Please respond by stating present. Councilmember Ronayne.
Present.
Foberg.
Present.
Liebelt.
Present.
Ward.
Present.
Johnson. E. Conger.
Present.
Nelson.
Present.
Norvstrup.
Present.
Mayor Shoneman.
Present. Please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First thing we'll do here tonight is to approve this week's printed agenda. I take a motion.
Move to approve or second.
Okay, we've got a motion. Nelson, second. Liebelt. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next item, we've got the minutes of our previous city council meeting, which took place on December 1st, as well as our work session, which took place on December 8th. I take a motion to approve those minutes.
Move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion Econger, second Ward. All in favor, please say.
Mr. Mayor, real quick, just noticing here, sorry I didn't email you before, Jordan. I think we start at 4 o'clock on the work session. I believe we just need to have that reflected.
We'll make that correction.
It would also be a good time to make mention that a lot of people noticed that this was the first time that we've recorded and broadcast that work session. From popular requests from the public, it worked out pretty darn good. What's that?
I'm sorry, did somebody really notice that?
Or
are you
well,
making that up?
Scott brought that to my attention
well,
at the very
Scott
least.
Okay.
But somebody brought it to his attention.
It was
so
good to have
around-
somebody
Your
see it,
mother, I
Scott.
think, was
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Put it in my baby book. All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next, open forum, but no one was signed up to speak. So we will move along to our consent calendar, where we have quite a number of different routine city business items to approve here tonight. Would someone care to make a motion on the consent calendar?
Move
Moved.
to approve. Second.
Motion Ronayne, second Ward. Anyone have anything on any of these items? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Single item of old business here tonight. It's the second reading of that salary ordinance, which we did our first reading on 2 weeks ago on December 1st meeting. Dave, any changes to the salaries and wages?
No, there's no substantive changes in that. We made an error in recording an incorrect digit on the ordinance number, so tonight we're just amending this to the correct ordinance number for this, but everything stays the same.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion Ronayne, second Liebelt. Any final thoughts from the council before we take a final roll call vote to implement this, the new wages? Jordan.
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Foberg.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Johnson. E. Conger.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Norvstrup.
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. New business is next. First item is the first reading of an ordinance titled 25-1204, which sets fees and charges certain sets the charges for certain services provided by the city of Aberdeen for 2026. Jordan was instrumental in assembling these fees. Jordan, would you walk us through what remains the same and what has changed?
Thank you, Mayor. As you can imagine, there's quite a few different items comprised within this fee schedule. We have one fee schedule that includes the fees and services for every department. So the departments are key in providing the recommended rates for the increases. I can tell you generally, we're planning for that 6% wage increase that was included within the salary ordinance that you just passed. We're seeing inflationary costs in the supplies and materials that go into what we do. And along with that, we need to bring our fee schedule up in alignment with these new costs. So this attempts to accomplish that. We have integrated the recommendations from our 2025 water and sewer rate study as presented by Banner last week. We've implemented the plan described as option 1 for both water and sewer. We have made slight amendments to round up a few cents here and there to go to the nearest whole dollar or nearest increment that is an even number. We've made certain revisions to the contaminant surcharge as recommended as well within that rate study. the solid waste fee sees an increase, parking enforcement, and building permits. There are some new fees as well related to automatic fire extinguishing systems, and we've made modifications, as we've mentioned, to our home daycare licensing process. We have incorporated basically a new license will include the special exception, the classes, and the application fee and a $200 application fee. So that should simplify what a new person would need to do in order to start their business. There are many, many other increases, other new items within the fee schedule. It's 13 pages, so I can't, go through everything, but if there's specific questions, I'd certainly be willing to explain those. So with that, staff recommends approval of the fee schedule as proposed in ordinance 25-1204.
Move to approve.
Second.
I've got a motion from Councilman Ronayne and a second from Councilman Ward. Jordan, I hope to take just a moment to talk a little bit about the WINS projects. I know that's something that Councilman Novstrip as well as Councilman Ward have been visiting about. Can you just give us the totality and idea of the amount of increase that residential consumers should be expecting on their water bills this year, and then maybe touch on the reserve fund that we've got and potential sources for funding? I know that we've put quite a lot of money from our COVID funds, ARPA, into the expansion that Webb is currently undergoing in order to get this all the way to Aberdeen. There's going to have to be substantial additional investment. I guess that's a lot of questions at you right there.
Right.
But why don't we talk just for a moment about how these rates play into the potential option to secure those some of the funding as it comes forward for the final leg of the Webb project to get it to Aberdeen.
Sure. We're also joined this evening by the folks at Banner, so at some point they may chime in with additional insight. But from the study that was presented last week, the timing and the cost of the project are largely unknown at this time. And along with that, or because of that, we're not necessarily building that into the rate study as presented. We know roughly what the project could cost, but the plan the study as presented last week suggested that for every 10 million of project costs, we would see an increase in the price per 1,000 gallons of 47 cents. So that is something that we would need to consider to set aside additional funding for the project, which again is not necessarily part of the rate study as presented.
And but the reserve fund that we currently hold within water and wastewater, not all, but some of that money could be used to finance a portion of that project. Is that true?
It's yes, it's possible. Obviously there are items within the plan that would be funded with the reserves that are currently there. The plan puts together a path towards setting aside a larger reserve in the future for that project, but the plan goes into great detail about the specifics of projects that go year by year through the 5-year plan.
And
So spending down that funding now could complicate or commit those funds where we otherwise would have placed them later on in the 5-year plan.
And in terms of the increase in cost, we had gone quite a while without any kind of an increase in price, quite a number of years sequentially. Last year we had a bit of a rate increase. This year we're proposing a rate increase, and it seems like with this Banner study that'll probably will be the next handful of years as well.
That's accurate.
And that'll get us up to even on operational costs as well as improvements that need to be made, both with the major investments in wastewater as well as getting our water treatment plant up to snuff with the repairs that are currently going on up there.
Correct.
Sounds good. Rich?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, just wanted to just comment, I really appreciate us looking at these. I know this is complicated. It's, I mean, we know there's going to be investments, there's going to be costs that are coming down the road, but it's really difficult because we don't know how much. But we know they're coming. So I just appreciate us taking a look at this. You know, we just voted and passed, you know, the wage study that has been done. So we're making right investments. I know anytime costs go up, that's never what we want to see. But we're investing in the people first, which is really important. I believe we also need to make sure we're looking at investing into infrastructure as well. So I appreciate what we're doing. I believe you said it very accurately, Mr. Mayor, that we didn't, the city council, we didn't set increases to some of these utility rates in the past like maybe we should have. It hurts a little bit because we're taking a big jump right now, but I do like how they're recommending, and I believe we're looking to take that, gradually increase those over time so that hopefully we're not in this type of position in the future because we're investing into the infrastructure today. So thank you.
Anyone else have any questions about David?
I don't know if this is a question for Jordan, but it's something that I'm asking myself. And I know the WINS project, we don't know when it's going to happen, and we don't know the cost. We have an estimate, but like, when is it appropriate to start getting money to pay that bill that we all know is coming? And like, is today that day that you start building up some money to pay that, or is it next year, or is it 3 years from now? Like, when is the time to do that? And I don't know the answer to that myself, which is why I'm going to have other people think about that question. But like, one thing that may or may not be reasonable is like, do you do like the 47 cents per 1,000 gallons to start getting at least 10 million in the bank? So at least you have something, because if we do get, I'm less hopeful on state and federal money, but I know our delegation is trying to get 20 million. And if they are able to get that 20 million out of appropriation bill in DC, and if we have any kind of match, that could come somewhat quickly. Mm-hmm. And then where do we get the money from that at that time? So when do we start getting ready to pay that bill?
In between the two reserve funds, we have about 15 million, correct, Jordan?
Yes, give or take. We're in a project phase for both funds, so the number's very fluid. But yes, that's approximate.
But of that 15 million, how much of that is already allocated for projects? Because that's not a true reserve, because we're building the reserve up to pay for specific projects in the capital plan, right?
I don't think that is that true, Jordan?
The
The chart that we're provided by Banner suggests that we're increasing our rates to be able to maintain that number so that it doesn't depreciate.
Could I ask the folks from Banner to weigh in on the specifics of the plan as presented within the study?
Certainly, Jordan. This is Tanya Miller. And on that, I think I could offer the two perspectives. One is a healthy water department or wastewater department wants to maintain somewhere between 40 and 130% of their reserves as a percent of operating revenue. And so the city set the goals for this study initially at 80, lowered them to 70, but that's kind of the target because of the significant unknowns and emergencies that can happen with infrastructure that's fairly costly, so that they have that cash on hand if something would happen and something would unknown would need to be paid for. It also improves your bond ratings when trying to seek out funding, so that you get better bond ratings and better rates on debt. The other perspective I just want to clarify is on that WINS project. So that $10 million cost and that 47 cents per 1,000 gallons, that would be if the total WINS project costs $10 million. The rate would have to increase 47 cents per 1,000 gallons to be able to repay a 30-year loan of $10 million. So that rate increase is due to the debt payment on the cost. So, if say that project cost is upwards of, $2 you pick the opposite, if it's $100 million project, to pay the annual debt payment on a 30-year loan for a $100 million project, the rate would have to increase $4.66 per thousand gallons. Hopefully that clarified a few things, and please let me know if I can provide any other information.
So Jordan, in our rate table that we've got for residential water usage charge, do the previous years in that match the commercial water usage charge up to 6 million gallons? It's 525 projected for 2026. 2025 for commercial is 445 and 390 respectively for the last 2 years. Is that what the residential had been also?
That's correct. Looking at page 12 of the proposed ordinance, you'll see I attempted to break out residential from commercial because our hope is to start to break out our customers as we described last week at our work session. It's the same rate for residential versus commercial. It always has been, but this is just a plan to separate that. So yes, the answer is yes.
So the immediate term impact of this increase ought to decrease or eliminate our reliance on the general fund, which occasionally subsidizes this, the water, and then also to slowly build up the reserve fund that we've got both for water and wastewater.
So the special sales tax fund actually subsidized the water and sewer fund. It's not the general fund. And that's something that is part of our plan for the next 2 or 3 years. I don't have that committed to memory quite yet, but it's something we're slowly reducing over time because doing it all in 1 year would be more impactful to our customers, and this lessens that impact.
All right, any other questions or comments or thoughts from the council as it relates to these rates? Rich?
I guess just one question I'd have. I'm not sure who to, but would there be anything that would prevent the council from later on considering if we need to, say federal dollars do come available in 2026 and it requires a match and we don't have those funds budgeted currently, is there a mechanism that we can, either adjust rates in the middle of the year there to accommodate for such a thing if an opportunity presents itself, or are we kind of locked in to this upon voting?
Mayor, we are able to increase rates whenever we need to. So we would be able to pass a mid-year rate increase. We haven't done it in quite some time, but it's something that's not unheard of.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Go ahead, Councilwoman.
Can I ask a question about, Jordan, about some of the other rates on here that aren't related to water?
Absolutely.
So are there, as you go through this process of looking at our rates, are there some that have been frozen in time for just maybe even a decade or more?
Yes.
That we would like to change, but maybe we can't change because of legislative rule?
Right. So one such fee is the video lottery fee. It's set by state law. I think it was set in 1993 or 1994. State law sets it at $50 per license. Same with alcoholic beverage licenses. Those are set by state law and they're beyond our control. There are other fees that we've never touched that you'll see a change this year as well. So we try to keep our eyes on things so that when we do have to adjust them, they're not huge increases, but every fee is different. We have limitations to what we can do, and we try to put forward a schedule that is responsible to the council and the citizens who ultimately have to pay them.
You know some people in Pierre.
You all do. We all do.
All right. Well, if there's...
We have a lobbyist right here among us.
There you go. If there's no further questions or comments, Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote then on the first reading of Ordinance 25-1204?
Councilmember Norvstrup.
Aye.
Nilsson.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Foberg.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye. Motion carries. Next first reading, Ordinance 25-1202, supplements various Parks, Rec, and Forestry budget activities for the remainder of 2025. Jordan, walk us through those supplements.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a quarterly supplement that we do related to park gift fund donations. All the items within this are funded by donations that are held within the gift fund, and this ordinance moves the cash and provides budgetary authority in the parks and other park-related funds to do the activities. Staff recommends approval of the ordinance as presented.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion Ward, second Econger, or was that Nelson? You guys still sound alike over there. Anyone from the council have anything? Okay, Jordan.
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Fauberg.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Nilsson.
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next, first reading ordinance 25-1201, which consolidates the financial reporting into a general fund and supplementing the 2025 budget for various unanticipated projects, transfers, and activities. Jordan, you're doing a lot of these tonight.
Sure, and before we move forward, I did not ask for a roll call vote from Councilmember Norvstrup on the previous item, but he has mentioned to me that he voted aye.
Yes, that's right.
So just wanted to clarify that item. But
And
yes,
don't
this
forget,
is
the other meeting started at 4.
4 o'clock. I'll try not. Yeah.
Get your clerical work in order over there, Jordan.
Yeah, sorry. So the next item that I have before you this evening is the final budget supplement for the general operations of the city. This is a comprehensive ordinance that's probably taken my focus away from some of those other things because there are many, many moving parts within it. You know, we're supplementing for things such as overtime, insurance, project expenses, a wide variety of things. The other thing that we're doing within this ordinance is consolidating the financial reporting of the Parks and Rec Fund into the general fund. As you may have noticed, the last 2 years within our operating budgets, we've included the Parks Fund within the general fund as basically a sub-fund. And this act consolidates all of those funds, those balance sheet items into one. This selfishly will make my job easier because it's less work to maintain more funds. It should improve our audit because fewer funds mean less funds to audit, and it should mean a higher materiality within the general fund. This is something that we've kind of been working towards, and this is the act that makes it final. So that's some of those strange-looking parks-related transfers. Otherwise, we're moving some funds around for debt service related to the public works bonds. We'll close on those bonds on December 30th. We'll receive the bond proceeds. We'll invest those. We won't have project expenses until next year, but this allows us to basically prime the pump for when that project starts. We have project expenses this year. We have costs related to the issuance. So we have a lot of work to do to make it work, and this is that. In addition to those project expenses, we have some supplements in the water and sewer fund related to work that we've been doing on the WINS project, the water tower project, and the water rec department as well. There's a lot in here. It's all over the place, but I assure you it's everything within this is necessary in order to provide budgetary authority to the departments. Staff recommends approval of the ordinance as presented.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion, Ward, second Econger. Questions for Jordan? So no impact from the way that the Parks and Rec Fund will be handled then? Like what is there any operational changes that will be underway as a result?
So this will not impact the financial reporting within the department at all. The 208 fund, which is the fund that we use, will not be eliminated. The way departments do payroll will not be changed. The way they process bills will not be changed. This simply takes Fund 208, 108, and pushes them together into one column on our statement of cash flows and statement of activities within our financial reports.
Thank you. Any other questions with the finance director? All right, Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote then on this ordinance, first reading?
Councilmember Norvstrup.
Aye.
Nilsson.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Fauberg.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next, possible approval of the NECOG Northeast Council of Governments Joint Cooperative Agreement for 2026. Jordan, is that yours as well?
That's me as well. Thank you, Mayor. This is a simple item. We have the assistance from NECOG. We don't have them on this meeting, but they've been on the last few meetings for our rate study. They help us periodically on things such as our water projects, our sewer projects. We'll have a bill later on, or rather in early 2026 for roughly $7,500 related to this, but this simply approves the agreement and allows the city manager to execute the document. Staff recommends approval.
Move to approve.
Motion Ronayne, second Knopstrup. Any questions?
I do.
Go ahead.
Jordan, the financial consideration says annual dues are in the 2026 budget. Would you know that number off the top of your head?
Certainly. We budgeted for the amount. I think it was $7,400 within the agreement, right around there. So that number is within the 2026 budget.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Jordan, could you give us a roll call vote then, please?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Foberg.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Norvstrup.
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next is a possible approval of the WRF improvement pay request number 6. It totals $2.983 million to PKG Contracting. Amanda is here to talk about that wastewater project and about this payment. Amanda, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. The $2.983 million, the majority of it is split into 3 large boxes. $1.32 million is for process piping procurement and installation. That deals with the aeration basin expansion and the final clarifier work to keep water moving in those areas. $1.11 million is for rebar and installation concrete work. This is all related to the aeration basin build out that is ongoing, final clarifier addition. And then they've built some water structures, concrete structures for influent effluent flow splitter box installation. So that was $1.1 million in concrete. And then we also did receive the generator for equipment, the power supply. So the facility was not large enough with the expansion of the aeration basins and blowers. So we have an additional generator being put on site since we do run in standby mode when power utilities are out. Got to keep the water flowing. So that's the overall cost for the $2.983 million. Another update on your state ARPA funds. After the issuance of this payment, PKG after issue of PKG payment number 6, there will be $4.082 $592 left in state ARPA funds for the future of the project, and then we'll move towards the drawdown of the loans.
Do those need to be spent by a certain period?
It needed to be spent by the end of this year, so we're very far on track, considering we are by the end of 26. So
Okay.
we're wrapping it up in
Additional
25.
$4 million.
Maybe the first payment or 2 out of 26. So
Thank you for explaining that, Amanda. And it sounds like the project is going pretty well.
going well. I mean, stalls with the weather, as expected in any construction outdoors, pouring concrete. But aside from that, the project is moving forward. They're looking to potentially move into the pre-treatment building at the beginning of the year, which will give some inside work and keep the project going in all different areas. So with that, staff recommends to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion Ronayne, second Ward. Any questions for Ms. Fisher on this payment? Did a great job explaining, so I didn't think we'd have much. Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote on that payment, please?
Councilmember Norvstrup.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Foberg.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. Thanks for joining us. Next possible approval, purchase of 2 Tahoes from Beck Motors for $107,874. That is for Chief John Dahl. Chief, you're buying a couple new Tahoes.
Thank you. Yes, we are. We had originally intended to purchase these in 2026. However, they came in at Beck Motors several weeks prior to our anticipated delivery date. So we're actually asking to purchase these prior to expected, but and the money budgeted for 2026 would not be expended at that time. But this is an anticipated purchase for us, so we would recommend approval.
Move to approve.
Motion Liebelt, second Knopstrop. So it's coming from the same bucket of money. It's just coming a little early.
That's correct.
All right. Any other questions for Police Chief John Dahl? Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote on that payment, please?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Foberg.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Nordstrom.
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next, we've got the possible approval of our Department of Transportation application for the BIG grant, which stands for Bridge Improvement Grant, funds for preservation or rehab. Stu, what are we looking to do here with this application?
Thank you, Mayor. So, Bridge Improvement Grant money is available every year for everything from new construction to what we're proposing here. This particular application we're doing is for doing a polymer overlay on the bridge decks for the 3 separate structures that make up the 2nd Street overpass. So there's basically 3 grants that we're applying for there. $37,500 each, and then there's a 20% accompanying match that the city would have to chip in for that. So staff recommends approval of submitting this application for these grant funds.
Move to approve. Good luck.
Second.
Motion Ward, second Ronayne. Any questions? Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote then, please?
Councilmember Nordstrom.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Foberg.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next, possible approval of pay request number 10, $74,263.50. That is for the 10th Avenue Bridge replacement to Prom Construction of Slayton, Minnesota. Stu, tell us about the progress of that. I know we've been volleying dates back and forth a little bit.
Yes, if everything goes right, we should have the bridge open by the end of the week. All that's really left is to get the pedestrian guardrails installed, which the subcontractor is supposed to be on site this week to do that. So then we should be able to get it opened up with temporary millings for surfacing on both sides of it.
And those get scraped away, and then good asphalt is
Yes.
put down
Yep.
next spring when the weather permits.
Yep. And I should also point out that this amount that we're paying to Prom, there's an $18,000 deduct for liquidated damages for that, for going beyond their completion date. So
I had made a note to ask about liquidated damages, but I'm glad to hear that that's going in the right direction. Any other questions for our city engineer, Stu Nelson? Okay, I'd take a motion.
We'll move to approve.
Motion Ward, second Knopstrop. Any final thoughts before we make this payment? Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Foberg.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Nordstrom.
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next, possible approval of a 2026 Chevy Silverado half-ton 4x4 short box pickup from Beck Motors using the state contract. Stu, we're buying a new pickup.
yes, this is a pickup for actually will be used in our pump department. It's replacing a 2017 Dodge that I believe is getting passed down to mower duty. It's going to tow mower trailers around next summer. So
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion Liebelt, second Ronan, and we did take a look to see if we couldn't source this thing locally.
yes, and we weren't able to.
All right, if there's no further questions, Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote then on that purchase of the pickup truck?
Councilmember Nordstrom.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Foberg.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next, airport projects. We've got a possible approval to pay for the AIP AIG Project 3, Terminal Access Road and Terminal Parking Lot, Dami Construction, $109,000. Another payment to Dami, $173,000, and finally to Helms for $24,000. Rich, walk us through those payments, would you?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This is for AIP Project 5354 at the airport, the Terminal Access Road and Parking Lot. Dami has reached a point of substantial completion. So we took this before the airport board to reduce their retainage from 10% to 5%. Payment to Dami in the amount of the reduction in retainage would be $109,543.54. The payment in the for pay estimate number 4 in the amount of $173,369.75, and payment to Helms and Associates invoice number 9 for $24,496.54. And the funding allocations, just as a reminder for this, was 95% federal, 2.5 state, and 2.5 city, and the airport board recommends approval of this.
Move to approve all payments.
Second.
I've got a motion from Councilman Ronayne and a second from Councilman Ward. Any questions for Transportation Director Rich? Go ahead.
$109,500, is that what we're paying or what we're keeping as retainage?
So we went from 10% to 5%, so we're holding back still $109,000.
That's what we're holding, that's not what the payment.
It is what we're paying them, because we're going from 218 down to 100.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see the 219 in there. Makes sense now, sorry.
Okay.
Didn't follow that.
All right, Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote on those payments?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Foberg.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Norvstrup.
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next possible approval to Helms payment number 10, and that is $226, as well as to authorize the city manager to sign that invoice for the airport terminal expansion. Rich, $200 payment.
Yeah, this is probably one of the lower invoices you'll ever see from Helms. But this is for our AIP project 5556, the airport terminal expansion, which will be kicking off in April. We're looking at April 1st on that. This will be invoice number 10 for the amount of $226.48. The funding allocation for this project was Senate Bill 144 at $1.2 million, and then AIP grant of $800,000, and city's local share would be $60,000. Airport board recommends approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion Ward, second Knobstrup. Jordan?
Councilmember Norvstrup.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Foberg.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next, we've got some bills for our apron reconstruction. This is for the AIP project. 346,000,152 for the general aviation apron reconstruction. First to Reedy, $13,374. Second to Reedy, $231,335, and finally to Helms for $3,605. Rich.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, this is for AIP 52, the general aviation ramp reconstruction phase 2. Item number 1. Change order 2 is the final, and that's a decrease in the contract, $13,374.50. We ended up saving a little money on concrete. Line number 2 is the final pay estimate in the amount of $231,335.44, and a payment to Helms invoice 24 for $3,605.99, and the funding allocation for this project was 90% federal, 5% state, and 5% city. And Airport Board recommends approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion Liebelt, second Econger. Any questions on these two payments or on the one credit? All right, Jordan?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Fauberg,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Econger,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Norvstrup,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next, possible approval of an addendum to each on-airport rental car concession agreement for a one-year extension. Rich?
Yes, thank you again, Mayor. So we're asking for a one-year extension on the existing contracts between the current leases for the airport in-terminal and off-terminal concessionaires doing business as Avis, Hertz Thrifty, and Dollar Car Rental. One-year extension is going to give us time to go out and seek bids to see if there are additional competitors interested in serving the airport. Airport Board does recommend approval on this as well.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Ward, second from Councilman Nelson.
It was a tie.
Oh, was it? Okay. Just throwing it out there. I figured one of you guys.
You couldn't have gone wrong,
That's all right.
no matter what.
Any questions on this agreement? Seems like a pretty solid plan. Okay, Rich?
Mr. Mayor, just a question. When do you think you'll have information on potential bids back if anyone else would be interested?
We're going to be looking at this process maybe late July, early August to solicit for proposals.
Cool. Then a follow-up, please. Would we ever look to do multi-year agreements then if we do find, going forward in 2027 is kind of what we're looking then in the future? This is a 26 agreement, but you guys
These
are
multi-year.
Okay.
Initially, they were 5-year agreements.
Okay, thank you. That we'd be looking then for a 5-year agreement
Correct.
after this one-year extension. Thank you.
All right, Jordan?
Councilmember Norvstrup,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Econger,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Fauberg,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. Final item for our good friend Rich. We've got a possible approval of an agreement for professional services between the city and Helms for our airport AIP project 346000158-2026 for the design and construction of a snow removal building expansion and airfield electrical vault relocation. That'll become an acronym, I'll bet you, with a little bit of time. Rich, tell us about this project.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This will be project 58, AIP 58. And we're doing the design work in 2026, and the actual construction will be in 2027. We're planning on adding a 60 by 100 addition to the airport snow removal equipment building. We're also going to move the electrical vault from the non-secured side of the airfield to the new expansion. That'll provide additional level of security and replacing the constant current regulators and some of the associated items with that vault. So this agreement would cover the environmental review, field survey, and design, with a lump sum of $280,010.78. Funding allocation for this project is 95% federal, 2.5% state, and 2.5% city. And Airport Board recommends approval of this as well.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion Econger, second Norvstrup. Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote then on this?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Fauberg,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Econger,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Norvstrup,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. Thanks for joining us tonight, Rich. Good to see you as always. Next, we've got bills and payroll. Pay period is November 30th through December 13th.
Move that we pay the bills.
Motion Econger, second Knopstrup. Jordan, would you give us our final roll call vote of the evening?
Councilmember Norvstrup.
Aye.
Nilsson.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Ward.
Voting aye, except for abstaining from the payment to Joy Ward for Winterfest.
Councilmember Liebelt.
I'm paying for all, including Mrs. Ward.
Thank you.
Councilmember Foberg.
Aye.
Ronayne.
I vote for Mrs. Ward's payment as well, but I have to abstain as the payment to Bosika Fencing, and I vote aye on all other bills.
Mayor Shoneman.
I have a mileage reimbursement for myself in there. I will abstain to the payment to me, and aye to the rest. Motion carries. Next, we've got our city manager's report. What have you got for us tonight, Dave?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So today was a warming day, and we appreciate that. And the forecast shows that the next few days we're going to get warmer temperatures, and we're going to hope that that clears up our streets a little bit. However, over the course of the last few weeks, we have received complaints from citizens about certain areas and neighborhoods with, ice patches and ice on the roads that has been difficult to get off the road surface. So Public Works is going out and addressing those complaints. So to the general public, if you have an area like that in your neighborhood that you'd like salted, we'll go out and address that. There are several different ways to get a hold of us, whether it's through our website or contacting our offices directly. We're happy and willing to come out and address some of those ice challenges. So hopefully that'll be reduced in the next couple of days, but we'll keep our fingers crossed. Right now is that time of year where our department heads are doing the performance evaluations of their staff. It's a good time of year. It's an opportunity to communicate with our staff and evaluate and assess how we've done over the course of the year. So the department heads are working on that, and it's a good and meaningful time for our team building. So we're working through that as one of the year-end processes that we're doing. Right now, you're aware that we have a library director's position that's open, and we've received several highly qualified candidates for that position. Kristen Kroll, our HR director, and I have been working as kind of a pre-screening process to find suitable candidates for the finalists for this position. We've identified 5 people. So soon we'll be presenting the library board with those candidates, and they'll be beginning that interview process for that. So stand by for updates on that, but we are working through that process. And Bert Klipfel is one of our employees who's done a great job in our Parks and Rec department and at ARC. He's celebrating 10 years of working with the city and done a great job, and we're very appreciative of having him as part of our team. And I believe that's my report. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dave, and thank you to Bert for sticking around for 10 years. That's a great milestone. If there's nothing else, I would take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Move
So
to
moved.
adjourn. Or
Second. Jinx.
Motion Liebelt, second Econger. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.